everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Patty the Quiet Sister. And for today's card project, we're going to make a summer card. And I'm using the Summer Fun sentiment from the Summer Accessories. So this is really fun. It's got the umbrella and the hat, the surfboard, the bag, the thongs, and the beach ball. So it says Fun Summer. I had it say Summer Fun. But the star of the show is the hot dog. So I'm using the hot dog set, and I just made a bunch of hot dogs. And I used this for ketchup and mustard. So there's a lot of other cute things. I love the little cloche with the miniature hot dog in it, like you're setting up a hot dog stand, which would work really great if you have the food truck of Pixi Dust Designs. These would work great for that. So pretty quick and fun card. I just love how it came out, so let's get started. So to get started, I cut the condiment bottles out of white cardstock, and I'm ink blending. For the yellow, I used mustard seed and wild honey. And then for the red, I used barn door and ground espresso and some candied apple. So these bottles are adorable, just adorable. And I'm using them to act like I'm squirting the sentiment onto the card. So kind of a fun way to use them. And I have not used my Distress Oxide inks in a long time. So I thought I'd give them a try, and I forgot how beautifully they blend. So now I'm coming in with the ground espresso, and that's mostly just on the hot dog. So that kind of looks hot dog-ish color. Get a little more red in there. I have a very small crafty space, and I cannot have a ton of anything. I'm constantly purging. So I use a lot of white cardstock and ink blend, and that works well for me. And now we're coming in with the candied apple, I believe, just to get a little more red onto. And then just to add a little more depth and dimension, I went over the red ketchup bottle, and I'm sorry that it's out of frame there. And I used R59 Copic and did the top just the same way I'm doing it, the yellow, just went over it a little bit on the top. And for the yellow, I'm using Y17 and Y13 Copic markers. So now I'm just gluing things together. Okay, so for the bun, I used antique linen and vintage photo for that kind of toasty bun look. And I wasn't going to make you watch me ink blend all this stuff. And then on the lettuce, I used Twisted Citron and Mowed Lawn. So now I'm assembling the condiment containers. It's just the top part and the base. Do the same for the red. So as you can see, it's a really quick and easy card to put together. Let those dry, and I'm going to create my background. So I've got a light blue piece of cardstock. I believe I got it from a big box store. And I am taking an Altenew Stripe Builder stencil and using it to kind of create, kind of want it to look like water, almost like a reflection of water. And I'm using Salty Ocean Distress Oxide to do that. And with stripe stencils like that, you can't ink blend in circles. You have to blend along the stripe. Otherwise, the stripe moves and you have a mess on your hands. So it's just back and forth. I could have pixie sprayed it, but I would have had to get up, and that wasn't going to happen. So completing my background now. And that turned out just how I had hoped. So now I'm just going to adhere everything. So the Summer Fun was cut out of white cardstock, and I used the same colors. I used mustard seed on the yellow and barn door and candy apple on the fun. So getting those kind of centered. And then the hot dogs are going to be sort of around it. Just had to make sure the fun was centered. And I end up moving these hot dogs around so many times. It was so frustrating. But I finally figured it out. So getting that attached, there I am, adjusting and moving and adjusting and moving. It took me a lot longer than I thought it did to figure this out. But this is the struggle. So I ended up taking them all off and redoing it. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to leave it in so everyone sees. We all have to work hard on our cards. And now I'll add in the condiment bottles. And I'm going to use, you know, they always say do odd numbers. So I'm going to use some of the clipping off of one of the hot dogs to have it kind of peeking in to add that odd number, and it really finished it off. I didn't feel like I needed to add sequins, but I did add some glossy accents. So we will let that dry a second, and now we'll clip off everything that's over the edge. Just got to neaten it up a little bit. And so there's a larger piece in there that I wanted. And that, I feel like that just was perfect. I felt like the other one on the bottom would work too, but I wanted an odd number. So that's going to finish that panel up. So I'll let that dry, and then I'm going to come in with, oh, I'm still fussing. All right, so now I'm going to come in with glossy accents. So it looks like a shiny little bit of mustard and a shiny little bit of ketchup. I think that glossy accents bottle is at least 10 years old, and it still works great. Yeah, because we've been living in this house for about 10 years, and I had it before we moved. So I'll clean up my mess a little bit. So it's really fun. You can use die sets that I mean, I've had this die set for a while, and use it to create new fun things. I used it more to create a hot dog stand look, but now we're just going to have a summer picnic or a summer party kind of card with this. So I'm going to finish up putting the glossy accents on the mustard on the hot dogs, and then I will be trimming the card down just a little bit. All right, got that done, and that's all I'm adding to the card. I mean, that's super cute. So I'm going to trim it down though just a little bit because I want a white border on my around the card panel on my card base. I want a little white frame on it. You know, and now that I'm thinking about it, I could have used a darker blue background and used white ink for the stripes to kind of make that sun reflection look on there too. And I wouldn't have had to buy a bunch of new supplies. I was using what I had. That would have worked really well for this card too. So getting the card panel added to the card base, and our card will be complete. So we made this card together. Did it while watching England and Croatia play. So a lot of fun. So very cute card. can be used for anything. You could even write like happy birthday here, or it's a party, and make this an invitation. So a lot of great uses for this set. And again, I used the summer accessories set, just used the sentiment for that, but here's a little reminder of what's in this set. And then I just used the hot dog on the hot dog set. So I just made this and then used this for the ketchup and mustard. So a lot of fun. And then, oh, I forgot the background. The stencil is by Altenew, and it is called the Stripe Builder. So that's how I got the stripes on the back. I wanted it to be like water reflecting. So thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.